Stand by for live.
We're live.
All right, this is just the Edge of the Week warm-up chat. So when Edge shows up, this chat will end.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Is that a Talladega Nights reference? I'd be good at movie trivia.
I don't know. I'm sure I heard it before that, but that's the big one right now, I think, that I remember it from. I could have sworn they were referencing something, though. Like some movie where... seems to me like that was a reference, though.
Can't tell you because I rarely remember movie quotes.
So I want to buy a sight pusher, but I don't know about buying that Kaiser one for 150. Because it might be just a sight pusher I buy to change all my Glock sights and then sell it, resell it, or keep it since it's only 60 bucks.
Ouch. I just use a punch and a hammer.
I don't have a vise, or I would try that.
Luckily, I have a vise.
Get a link for the one. Can't find any reviews or videos on it.
I can't help you. I don't know anything about sight pushers.
I mean, it looks okay. It says it has fine threads and it comes with a free front sight wrench.
G-Lubs would know more than I would on this topic.
Actually, I'm not seeing it anymore. Maybe they...
Sorry, I can hear you, but I'm way over there working, so I have to walk over here to answer. But
maybe they sold them out.
Are you talking about a sight pusher for a pistol?
Yeah.
The one I have, they sold it to Robar or something, so Robar sells it. But it's basically like all the others, where it's a big piece of square steel tubing that they slice and then put all the guts inside of that like donut. Just, you know, it depends on if they use aircraft quality machine screws as opposed to like just bolts. So that's if it strips out or not, kind of thing. And then how much time they've been making them. I got that Kaiser one from a long time ago, and he's probably on his third or fourth generation of that, and then he sold it to Robar. So they're selling, or maybe it was Kimber, I forget who he sold it to. But that one's, you know, at least been around for a decade, being improved all the time. Some of these look like they got the same idea, but they just made their first version, and all the little, I don't know, call it like little fine points of it haven't been worked out yet. Yeah. So when you get to something like an XD slide, which is all stupid and slopey and stupid and super hard, like Kaiser's knows how to push that for the most part, or at least can hold it and do a good job of it, or at least the best job I've seen of it, compared to some of them, which it just flops around and it can never get a good push in the right direction. It's always moving the slide around. But that said, I have only used that one. I haven't bought one since then, so it's possible somebody came out with a better one. Just seems like most of them are cheap nowadays. But honestly, is this for, like, you got a shit ton of guns that you're going to swap out the sights on? Because it's usually cheaper just take it to a shop, even if it's like $35 to have them do your sights, because you only need to do it once usually on a difficult gun.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to be... I have 3 Glocks that I want to change sights on, so...
I hate to agree with Yankee, but seriously, like a Glock pusher is like a convenience, but you can totally do a Glock with a, you know, piece of brass and a hammer and roll of tape, just tapping it out. But I don't know. With 3, I guess if your only option is to go to a shop and pay $35, it'll be cheaper buying a pusher. But Glocks usually aren't tough. You should be able to buy any pusher for a Glock.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of this one that I put in the side chat. It's got a buy it now price of $58, and it comes with a front sight wrench.
Well, 50, you're getting up to the cost of a big one, so I wouldn't do it for 50. So 30 plus free shipping, I would definitely consider that. 68 or 58 is already up to 60, right?
Yeah.
It seems like a lot for that little guy. But being little like that, I don't think is necessarily a disadvantage. It looks like it would be strong. But if that's aluminum, I take it all back. Is that an aluminum body or a steel body? Now it's looking aluminum now that I look closer at it.
Let's see what it says.
What does it say in the description? Yeah, it says it's built from aluminum tubing. I say pass on it. It looks neat, but if it was made out of steel, I'd deal with it. But if you get a tight or just the wrong angle on the sight and you cram on just those bolts through aluminum, you're just going to strip your aluminum and ruin your tool.
All
Plus
right.
that
Yeah,
bottom
that is
bolt,
aluminum.
that bottom bolt don't look like a fancy bolt. It just looks like some bolt from the Home Depot. And on these kind of things, all your torque is in the threads. So you want your threads to be ultimate and your, the metal they're going through to be metal, steel.
All right. Sounds like I'm gonna just take them to the gun shop because they only charge $15.
Honestly, if you've got 3 to do, you might be able to get them even done cheaper because it's really not a big deal on a Glock. I mean, they'll have a tool. It'll take longer for us to be talking about it than it will to do all 3.
Yeah, it's just that when I bring them there, they usually want me to drop it off and then come back when they call me, which is usually a day or two.
If you got to leave it, then you're pretty much screwed because even if it is a quick job, they got to go through all the labor of logging in and out and shit. So they're going to charge for all that.
You said they only charge $15.
Well, they charge me $15, and usually the guy just lets me drop the slide off, so he doesn't have to take the frame and log it all in and crap.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I might just do that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because you don't have to take it apart anyway. So there's no point in leaving a gun there.
I just got here, but Moon, what do you haven't done?
Night sights on my 26. I have an extra set, so I don't have to buy them or anything.
Oh, okay, and you don't have the tool for the front post to unscrew it?
No.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, with the tool, it's no big deal, but without the tool, it could be challenging.
Do you think it would work? I'm sitting here thinking, well, somebody could just send you a tool and you could use it and send it back to them or something. So do you think they could do like a rental tool thing for something like that where you put down a deposit so if you steal it or don't send it back that you pay for it, but if you do return it, it's like renting a movie. And as long as you get it back in good shape, you just pay a nominal fee for borrowing it?
That would be great.
Moon, do you have like a good relationship with your local gun store?
Yeah, pretty much.
The reason I say that is because my local gun store, I have a pretty good relationship, and I can go in there and borrow his specialty tools to do stuff I'm willing to do on my own at no cost. He's just, just make sure it stays in the back room and doesn't grow legs, and you're good to go.
A dozen donuts on a weekend morning or a pizza midweek for lunch?
It never hurts.
Nope.
It's a lot cheaper than sending it out and paying shipping.
Right. Pick up a truck stop prostitute and bring her by?
No.
I can definitely do the prostitute and the donuts, but the pizza might be a problem.
So what time did you open the room, Mood? Or how long ago?
10 after 8, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And what's the room number?
Exactly. Did you put? I know we had talked about like when somebody opens up a room, just going on the main page and putting something that the room is open, so to speak.
Oh no, I didn't do that yet.
I mean, not the link, just
Good
the
thinking.
just the knowledge.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure when I go do it, I'll forget.
Yeah, did
seem
you
to
get that
remember
figured out yet? Oh.
What's that?
You get that figured out yet for your page?
I think I need to do what you did, which is you created a channel
Yeah.
in addition to your page, and that's how you did it.
Yes.
But I didn't realize that until after I had sent you that message.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, oh, that's where the like comes in. And is it correct? You just have to have one to be able to do that?
You'd have to ask GWebs.
Okay. It's not critical.
What are we talking about?
Oh, for a channel, if someone creates a channel, in order for them to do a live broadcast and have it show up in gun channels, they have to have at least one like on their channel page in order to have that functionality.
Really?
Well, I thought that's what you had said on Monday, but I wasn't sure, which is why I
No.
asked.
Oh, the only thing that requires like likes on a channel is the URL. So the URL of all the channels is going to be like gunchannels.com / the word channel and then / whatever the channel is. But once you get like a couple of likes, in other words, it's not just a channel that you built and nobody gives a damn about and it just sits there. If you get a couple of likes on the channel, then the URL will shorten to gunchannels.com / whatever the name of your channel is.
Right, and I was trying to figure out how many likes it needed for that to become the case.
Right now it's 3 because we're playing with it, but it'll change
Okay.
to something like 10. It's kind of a it's a filter. It's a democratized filter, if that's a way to say it, so that it's not a big deal at all. It doesn't really do anything. It just allows somebody to find you a little bit easier, and because there's only so many words you can put behind gunchannels.com, right? If this got to be like Facebook or YouTube, in that future there would only be so many people that could take, for example, the word lobby. So that just means that there's, like I say, some kind of a democratization. There's like a requirement from the audience to participate to let you be one of the people to be first up to claim a short URL. So
Right.
it's hardly anything, but you can, anybody who pays $1 a month, basically, right, the $12 part, that's like an actual participating member, or I guess we can think of it as. They can create channels, and there's no limit, I don't think. You can create as many channels as you want. If it gets out of hand, of course, we'll delete them. But if you have a topic that there isn't a channel for, or you have you have an idea for a topic that would be different than an existing channel, it's just like YouTube. You make another channel for it. It's just that unlike YouTube, we're trying not to make it go through a bunch of hurdles. If you want to have, like you guys already monitor more than one channel, somebody could come along and do a channel for fishing and a channel for drones and a channel for guns and a channel for revolvers and whatever they want. And as long as they're maintaining them, that's what it's here for. As far as the chat room, those are handed out only because there's nothing that automatically creates a chat room for them. One of us has to go set it up. And the other side of that is that it's not like we get charged per chat room per se, but we get charged per bandwidth use of the chat rooms. So you guys have already experienced the slowdowns when we reach those, waypoints where we have to pay for another portion of bandwidth, basically. So because there's a finite amount of that, those are on a like ask basis or need to have basis or something. I mean, they're just rationed a little bit. Like I say, because they can't automatically go out anyway, and then that way they're just not out there on dead channels that aren't doing anything. Or worst case scenario, some anti-gun asshole comes along and makes a channel and does a whole bunch of moms hate guns chat on here that we're paying for. Screw that, right?
Yeah, I was just trying to learn more about the system this afternoon, which is how this came up. Because I figured I can't help somebody else if I don't know how to do it myself.
If
Yeah, I
you
know
build
I-
someone a chat room, they'll chat for the evening. If you teach someone to build a chat room, they'll chat for the rest of time.
and use up all your bandwidth.
Well, hopefully, I'm just doing my math right now, actually. Like I say, I'm working over here, so I'm trying to figure out what the cost is going to be to run this place every month, because I've just basically been running around like crazy buying all the pieces I need to make it the way I want it to be. So next I get to figure out how to pay for all that shit. But it'll be attainable. And then we'll just buy more bandwidth if we need it. That's the whole point.
I have a generic question. Is on your side, are you able to, like, let's say the site starts acting a little chuggy for whatever reason, through various tools, are you able to determine bandwidth versus number of users online that are engaged in certain activities versus it just has so many lines of code to crunch through? It just is having difficulty.
Technically, that's your question. I suppose I could. I don't bother because we're not at that point yet. It's all code
Okay.
right now. There's nothing. We're nowhere near maxing it out numbers-wise, people-wise, so or use-wise. So it's just right now because everything's like in a weird collection of stuff being melted together and polished up.
Right.
But all the
I'm
welding's
just having
done,
some.
all the grinding's done. Now we're just filling in little gaps, getting ready to paint. We're in the Bondo era, or Bondo phase of the growth.
I'm having some personal browser issues, which is, and it's typically more commonly in the evening. And I
Like what?
exclusively use Chrome. And like right now I'm on IE because I'm having some Chrome issues for some reason. Even blowing away all the cache doesn't seem to resolve the issue.
Like what?
Like it times out.
What do you mean?
Like it'll say, do you want to wait? And it'll say either kill a page or wait.
So when you're loading a page, it'll the refresh times out, or loading the page times out
Yes.
in your browser? Okay.
Yeah,
So-
but only on gun websites. And I typically only have 2 or 3 tabs open. So I might have, YouTube doing nothing, just sitting there in one tab, and gun channels in the other.
I hear you. We all know YouTube doesn't do nothing, but I hear you.
Well, I mean when it's not playing.
Yeah, but running a video is only one of the things YouTube does on your browser while you're sitting there with it. But so basically just like non-loading, not so much a lag, like it never does actually load.
It'll partially load. Yes. It's just that it has that little indicator that it's like still trying to get something or complete something, and it never does.
Oh, well then that's nothing. You're talking about the little thing. So it loads 99% of the way, but at the bottom of the page there's that little star on the main page. That's because the main page never will end. It will just always give you more until you finally reach the end, which you'll never do because it's 14 months away of daily updates.
Well, as an example, right now it's still trying to load the lobby, the gun channel's chat lobby, from before I even got in this chat.
Right, but again, are we talking like 99% of the page is there, yet there's a little spinning hourglass down there, so you're just not satisfied that it's loaded? Or is like the percentage of the page actually loaded?
In Chrome, on the top of the page where it says gun channels, it has that little spinning thing
Okay.
on the top. I can see most everything, but it won't. The cursor will not change to indicate a link, nor will it let me push the page up or down.
Okay, so that's different. Okay, so it's not actually loading, but it's also preventing you from doing anything while it's not loading.
Yeah, in fact, I just got this. I just switched over for a moment. It now says page unresponsive. I can do kill the page or wait. And whenever I wait, that never seems to do anything.
Yeah, and just so you knows, I'm using Chrome and I'm having no issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
why
know
I
any
think
other issues like that except for you and No and Marine at this point are the only 3 that are having issues. So, I mean, I'm not discounting that you're having the issue, but it definitely doesn't seem like a site-wide thing at this point. It seems like we have to figure out what's going on that might be similar to your machines, or if not similar, just parallel. Something's happening though.
Right. Yeah, since no one else was saying anything, I've always assumed that it was a local issue right from the get-go. It just, other than clearing the cache away, I don't know what else exactly to do.
They're suggesting the router. Do you play with your router at all?
No.
Does it ever get unplugged?
About once every other week.
No, that's enough. So, I don't know. We're not going to get into a troubleshooting chat here.
Yeah,
We will
oh,
do
no.
troubleshooting chats, though, when I'm more in that I'll put my troubleshooting hat on. But right now it's too easy to mark them up to weird little glitches or something. Once everything's done, then we'll go ahead and polish all those out, though. So we did make that database in the mod area. You found that? I just made the discussions thing into a impromptu knowledge base, basically.
I believe so. Earlier today.
No, a long time ago. Whenever we did the chat last Monday, I think. So maybe I'll change it from saying discussions to saying knowledge base or something, and we'll just use it as that, unless we come up with something better. Tony, when you say you have to log on twice, that's what Marine keeps saying too. Now, do you literally get logged out and you have to log in twice, or the chat bar at the bottom isn't there and you log in to see it there? Because that's an issue where basically just the, whatever they're called, the permissions or whatever, when you sign in for the first time, it doesn't always load the chat bar down there, but typically just refreshing the page without a login, or just going to another page, navigating to a second page, will give the session variable or whatever it is, like, the okay to drop the chat bar in there. So I could need to find out from Marine and maybe from Tony right now if that's an issue, or if, because again, it's some of this troubleshooting stuff is just a matter of clarifying what exactly people are saying, what they're actually seeing or what. You share a router with a neighbor. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Look below. Look below.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that's scary. Not so much any other reason. It's just that you don't know what he's doing over there. I mean, I understand that he's probably not, but if, for example, he's vacuuming and that vacuuming fiddles with their electricity a little bit on that line and that makes his router go screwy, you could pull your hair out trying to figure out what's going on your end. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll be completely inconsistent and kind of, well, again, impossible to figure out on your side because there won't be any consistency from your end. But you can't blame it on that because obviously there's no way to know it is happening either.
And the logging in twice thing, I used to have to do that, but when you change the site over, I didn't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that has something to do with people that were mods, but I'm not sure how that's happening to Tony now because he just signed in basically with a brand new account, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah,
so
I figured I'd be
I've
doing
had
something with me being a mod.
4 people mention that, so that could be something with the antivirus or who knows what. But again, if it's solid after you log in the second time, oh, there he is. Is it solid after you log in that second time, Tony, or do you have to keep logging in all the time?
Sorry, I'm trying to turn my volume down on the other video.
No worries. I was just asking, do you have to log in a bunch of times, or after that second time you're good to go?
After the second time, I'm good to go.
Yeah, that sounds less like something on your machine and more like just something then. So it has something to do with the fact that you can set these things up to just have users, right? And that's, you can have all different levels of users and whatever, kind of like a forum. Or you can set it up to take membership fees like we do. So I'm sure it has something to do with there being 2 sort of lists of the different members, and then people that I've either given free accounts to or made moderators, which took them out of the paid zone or whatever, and me not knowing all this stuff fluently when I first set it all up. I'm sure that's what's happening to Luke, but like I say, Tony, you've ended your account and started another one more than one time already, so this new one shouldn't relate to anything. On the other hand, databases can be screwy, and since you probably use the same username and name every time in the email and stuff, it's possible that that's just ghosting over. No had some issues, and he just started with a new account. I'm assuming he used a new email as well, and removed some of those kind of little glitchy errors. But
Oh, and I'm not complaining. I was just
well, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to
talking about it. So.
Talking troubleshooting a little bit.
Yeah.
You get 11 gigabytes down. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
What about up? You got cable there?
Yeah. Let me go back and.
Nobody ever looks it up. I only care about up.
Yeah. I mean, unless I'm uploading a video, I mean, you're really.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. A shitty upload speed can make a 5-minute video take an hour, and a nice. Yeah. I mean, I can drive like 2 miles away to a community college, and just sit in their parking lot and log on, and I could upload 100 videos in like the time it takes me to explain what I just did. It's crazy, but the other locations, it's like takes forever to upload 5 minutes of video.
Yeah, I get about half that up, about 5 up.
Yeah, that's still pretty decent.
So
I only get one up.
Yeah,
50 down, one up.
Get one up.
and right now I'm the only one on this system, even though there's two different households on the same router. So,
My problem is that that's the highest up I can get unless I want to spend like $150 a month on the internet, and then I can bump that up to $5.
yeah, and this is just the entry level. I mean, I could pay for more. It's just that my search, for the most part, it does me just fine.
I'm not even going to tell y'all what I get going up and down because you'd be mad.
Yeah, what I do anytime I have to upload a video is I just wait till. Yeah, if it's a small video, I just do it right away. But if it's a larger video, I just wait
My wife's
until
like,
I'm
"Are
ready
you
to
talking
do
about
that." Yeah.
We have, you know, I don't know if y'all have ever read any articles about Chattanooga, but Bob Corker helped us a while back get fiber optic. You know, so we're getting like 60 to 100 meg up and down. So
Bastard.
honestly, I don't think it helps me that much. Honestly, though, because you know I'm always having troubles with my Hangouts, and I think that has more to do with I don't know
Computer.
Google hacking me or whatever.
You use Apple, right? Mac?
Me? No, I use a PC. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm on a.
Few webs, I put a link in the side. That's the part you're talking about. That's relatively new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
It says private page.
Yeah, it's just locked so we can talk shit about people in there and
Yeah.
gossip and swear.
That's the.
So I know it's been discussed a couple of times this week, but I've had some company in town this past week, so I haven't been able to catch all the chats. So in a summary version, what do y'all think about the ATF temporarily taking a step back from the ammo ban?
Yeah, they're just waiting for a chance where they're going to be able to, you know, exploit something, and then they'll be able to get it through.
And what do you think? They'll come back for the same thing, just at a different angle, or a different thing?
They'll come back with basically the same thing. They'll reword it. It'll basically be the same thing. It'll be the same ban. It's just like they'll reword it. And
I don't think so.
hoping that they don't get the public outlash that they just did get from it. So. Just like everything else, you know, the Democrats are all up in arms about the ATF backing down for now.
I don't think they'll come back with the same thing. I think they may change their focus so that the headline's not the same.
Right,
You know,
it'll still
so
be
the search,
on
the
AR.
search engine, the search results aren't the same. You know,
Right, I'm saying it's still going to be the same ammo that they're going after. It's going to be
I don't think so.
reworded, but I think so.
I think they look at it as battles. They lost that battle, they'll pick another battle.
The other question I had is I had posted a link in the Gun Rights Archive about Perez versus Mortgage Bankers Association.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I had a correct interpretation on this or not, which is why I kind of put it there. But the case allows for government agencies not to ask for public comments for when they reinterpret existing rules, which would explain, if it's correct, why they did what they did with the SIG brace. And as soon as I can get this link here, you know, I posted the document into Gun Channels, which is another part of my trying to figure out how to do things. So
Well,
if anybody
yeah,
wants to look
we're
at it
not.
themselves,
It's not as though there's a procedure that you're looking to discover. As we mentioned, we're looking at the parts that we have to figure out what procedures we'll create. So it's not as though there's a place to post that you're looking for. Just you're posting things, and we're going to evaluate which is the best place, most easy to find, and useful place to post it. So I thought at first you were asking about why it disappeared. So you're saying you posted something recently in that gun rights or whatever
oh,
section?
it's still there.
Okay, because we're about to kill the gun rights section is what I mean, that channel. It's redundant to Every Second Matters, so
Okay.
so
Well-
eventually we'll move it, but I'm thinking even more so, I don't know if you noticed in the menu, I changed it a little bit, so
Right.
now it's got that resources tab,
Mhm.
and that's where we'll post stuff that's more like permanent, so we don't have to work with the framework of the channels is okay, but it's kind of confusing, I think, to put resources in with the same thing as like entertainment, just chatting in groups and stuff.
Right.
So
Well-
I think at the same time we're putting in a new place in the menu, we'll also have a different format. I'm looking at 2 or 3, and on Monday you guys will help me evaluate which one we'll use, but more of like less of the channel, which is sort of designed to organize members around events or links or whatever it happens to be, focused on. We'll have more of a presentation layout, or more of a, like I was saying with the recipes as an example, recipes are set to be indexed and listed and archived as opposed to like a live chat or that kind of thing. So I think having a different format for those sections that are going to be the resources.
Okay. But
Wait.
like, as an example, I had put the actual government document, the BF document, up there in regards to that court case. I also put up there, while it's still available, the initial letter on the ATF decision on the SIG brace. So in case somebody wants to look back to see exactly what they said and what they did, they'd be able to do that. And there was a third thing I put up there. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, the only reason I mentioned it at all was because, and I put the link in the side chat here, about did anybody happen to see it, and if so, did you get the same impression that I did, that that's their case law as to why they feel they don't necessarily need to ask for public opinion? And if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it, never mind then.
Yeah, I just haven't looked at it, scrutinized it yet. I know that they're playing a giant game. I know that. They definitely didn't think, oh, well, we've been slapped by the people that are our bosses. We should, do better and not do this again. I don't think that's the result.
Right. It just I was looking to create, and maybe, hopefully it will get moved and not deleted. But in case people want to look backwards in time and say, what did they say to us when they did that thing with the SIG brace? Somebody can look at it.
No, exactly. That's the whole point. Yeah, I'm glad you put it.
I think the retraction I also posted. When they retracted it, exactly what did they say when they retracted it? I posted that as well as a PDF. So people can look historically, even though it may only be a few days, what exactly they said and when they said it.
And unfortunately, once these accumulate, that's where the real resource will happen. And then once we've created it, like you're doing from now going forward, that'll also create the framework that if somebody wants to, they have the time and the inclination, they'll be able to go backwards in time and document all the existing stuff in whatever format we come up with, so that way, when there is that time when we need to know, okay, this is how many times have they done this to? Okay, now we can look. This is the 13th time you've done this. So, we have 13 instances of when you've done this before, ATF, when are you going to quit or something like that.
Right, and that's initially when Sandy created that group. That's what I thought that group was for. And of course, that is what it was for. It just a lot of people had a different impression.
We were talking about site pushers before, and I'm looking at the chat, and I think I even said, knocking the sights out. Definitely knocking the sights off of Glock with the plastic sights that come on a Glock is no big deal because you can't hardly hurt those. And somebody was mentioning about what type of material of punch to use so you don't make a mark, but I'll just mention that you don't want to always do that because it isn't the best way to do it, especially with night sights or mainly with night sights. You can break that little vial in there by smacking on them too hard, and you won't really know until you check it out in the dark. So it doesn't make a noise or hiss or smoke or anything, so it might be better to use consistent pressure from a screw, than a jarring pressure of a tap.
Yeah. I definitely considered that with the night sights. So did you download?
Points to make, feel free to jump in.
Did you download that HDR app? G-Webs?
Paid $2 for it and then downloaded it.
And you have a what's it called phone?
The F5 active, I think. Or it's the 3 active. I don't know. Whatever the number is, but the active version, so that it can get in the water and stuff.
So in your photo gallery, there's no editing options when you...
Oh, when I am in that HDR thing, or just in my regular old...
Just your regular gallery.
It can, crop, and it can twist them around, but I don't think I can even do brightness or anything like that.
Because
I never really looked.
There's an edit. It comes with the phone, usually on Android. See the one with the little...
The one that says Photo Studio?
Well, there's that, and then the one on the bottom with the windmill thing.
I've seen that one, the windmill one. I've never seen the other one, the Photo Studio one.
The windmill one lets you do the HDR.
Are you kidding me? I just wasted $2. I always go into this thing called Gallery, I guess. It looks like a stupid yellow flower.
Yeah.
I always go in there, so you're saying I could go into something else. Where do I find that at?
Just, I don't know how your phone is, but if you tap on a picture, yeah, you go into the options.
I'm not signed in, see what happens.
Go into the options where you can crop and do all that stuff and rotate. Just hit edit, and it should give you that option.
No, I don't get that option. Or wait, what's this? Download and editing tools. I have to download my tools, I guess. Huh. Okay, cool. Should tell me this before I wasted $2. I don't even like that thing. It's okay, but there's like a billion options, and as far as I can tell, they all look the same, and one makes it look a little more yellow. But otherwise, it's like a waste of money. It all does one thing 100 different ways, and then they're all just make your hands look dirty and make the thing look like, I don't know, out in the sun or whatever.
Yep. Because the one I did today, the pocket dump picture that I did today, I actually used the HDR scape in that editor, and then I combined it with the drama, which actually makes it look even dirtier. Like it put dirt on my arm that wasn't even there. It's crazy. But yeah, that one with the little colored windmill thing, that has a lot of options. And I'm pretty sure I downloaded that through Google Plus accidentally. Or it was always on my phone. I don't know.
Did you see that? I know you saw it, that video of 20 craziest pictures that were not photoshopped. And the only reason I posted it was because I know there was a chat the other day where there were a lot of people talking about Instagram. And I thought it might kind of serve as inspiration for people that are looking to get into Instagram, as there's all sorts of, with enough, the only limit is your creativity.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I watched that video, Dano. I liked it.
But it was also what I liked about it is also showed how they did it. So somebody else could say, "Oh," but to give other people ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll post it to the chat here in a moment.
Aloha, guys.
Aloha.
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 You'll learn how to say it right, dude.
Aloha.
Mojito.
Spider goats and a
Is that how you say it? Mojito?
Take a look at 20 photos
Mahalo.
you won't believe.
Damn it.
Shop. Number 20, Skytop Tennis.
Stop. Sorry about that.
Was that an ad for SkyMall?
Commercial. But no, it's just Dubai, whose entire
It's the 20 photos thing. It's just that it won't. I had to get to it to get the link, but then it automatically wants to play,
I know.
and I'm clicking on it, and it won't stop.
So do they have nets on that tennis court to save somebody if they dive for like?
It looks like there are some, but they only go up maybe about 8 feet, like horizontally.
That's long enough, I guess. I should go too crazy.
Still,
They should be wearing parachutes while they're playing tennis. In case they do dive off that big building, they can just pull the cord. I'm going to write them a letter of recommendation.
I put it in the outside chat. I also threw it in the inside chat. Because I know it got pushed down a little bit in case somebody wanted to see it.
Yeah, plus I got to watch it again to remember all 20 photos. The guy with the caved-in head.
Oh yeah, that's the main picture, but that you don't see to the end.
I don't think I'll be able to pull that one off.
No.
The caved-in head look?
The caved-in head look.
Wasn't it a real guy, if I remember?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would have
his
to
head
cave
is
my
that's it.
Yeah.
That's how he actually looks. But even some of the other ones, were just, it was total creativity. Like there was one that was taken with kind of a S.C. Escher look in somebody's dorm room. And then, like you mentioned, Moon, the one in Dubai where they're playing tennis off the top of some building.
I really like that water drop globe one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's cool.
That tennis court is freaking crazy.
Isn't it?
And
Well,
there
that's
is
why-
no net around it. It's just like they got like a 2-foot high rail. Perfect
And-
way to get to break your shins as you go over.
And that's why I thought, for people who are really trying to get heavily into Instagram, it would be motivational, as well as the fact that it's not made up, that you can take, using your creativity, some pretty cool shots. The world in a drop of water.
Right now I'm on the wired Lamborghini.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool too. Well, they're all
time to build that.
They made a wire Porsche too. It was covered in foil. Powered by a bicycle. By the way, I'm getting really sick and tired of Instagram. It won't let me sign up for an account. Sorry, there's a problem signing you up right now. Please try again later. Restrict certain content and actions to protecting our community.
Oh,
Tell us why we made a mistake.
do you think that they have the same list that I know how you had an issue with, I forget, Google or whoever, that they're sharing the same list?
I didn't have a problem with Google, did I?
Well, maybe was it YouTube, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else,
Oh, YouTube?
or was it eBay?
Facebook.
No, I can sign up for Facebook, no problem. I've actually got like 3 accounts on Facebook.
Facebook bought Instagram, right?
What do you mean?
Well, you're talking about Instagram problems, and then Facebook bought Instagram.
Well, they're still separate, so you shouldn't have.
Right.
Facebook, nothing is separate from Facebook. They just grab out and reach everything.
Yeah. I just can't sign up for an Instagram account, so.
There's the guy with the miniature towns. I really like that. I like anything miniature, but the way he does the pictures and makes everything look real is pretty cool.
Still no update on my analog to digital converter on the USBS delivery site there. Gets here when it gets here, I suppose. Everything takes longer to get to Hawaii.
All right, Moon. Is that your H&K in the middle there, between the Glock and the knife or whatever that is?
Yep.
The grip, the way it's designed there, almost kind of reminds me of like a Spider-Man look,
Yeah.
at least at that angle.
Yeah, it's pretty much that way all the way around.
It's like if Spider-Man had a gun, he'd have a P-30.
Yep. It's unique. I like it. I think just that and the HK-45 were the only ones that have that out of the HKs.
Some huge Category 5 hit Vanuatu Islands yesterday. I'm going to look at the news and see how bad it got creamed. Category 5 hurricane right over the island.
The main island?
It looked like the southernmost island that I went right over as far as, well, at least with the last satellite pictures that I saw, but then I think some other show that I wanted to watch came on. I wasn't watching the Weather Channel, I saw it on the news, and the news was covering it. I didn't see anything in the morning about it, but I'm going to go look on the internet. But
Generally speaking, what's the overall length of the Hawaiian chain?
I have no idea. It's just spread out over quite a ways. I mean, we even have one underwater island that's still forming. The important mileage I need to know is that it's 2 blocks to the gun store for my Honda.
There you go.
geographical measurements count, you know. Also, yeah, it's like, 6 miles to Costco.
Did Z pick up his elitist revolver today? I want to see it. I want to.
He's
got to post
making mumblings
pictures.
in the chat, but he hasn't said, I don't think. He said he had to go to the police station, so I'm assuming that it's something to do with his gun.
It's still early over there, right? It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What time is it over there? Volcano.
3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Here he comes. Gonna clear up all the mess.
Eventually. He'll get to it.
Yeah. Well, you got to adjust your chair, and then your tropical drink with the umbrella.
Got to organize your pineapples.
Yep.
I'll organize pineapples, but I don't drink that shit with an umbrella. Aloha. What are you doing today?
Chilling. Waiting to hear the big news about your TRR8.
It's a little lighter than I thought it would be. It's not quite as big as I thought it would be. And these are all good things. And it might just be because I'm not a small person. So, it's pretty good in the hand. Oh man. That double action is pretty damn good. The only problem is the snap caps only came with 6 to a package, so I'm going to have to get another package of them.
No.
But, oh man, it was worth the wait. And I mean, I'm talking the 2.5-year wait. I mean, I'm not talking the 2-week wait. And it doesn't I didn't put any of the rails on it or anything crazy like that yet.
So you have physical possession of it.
I have it in my hand as we speak.
Oh my God.
Yes. And the single action is just like, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little, it's all a little too much for me right now. I'm kind of swooning.
You're definitely going to have fun with that.
No, here's the problem. The range is open tomorrow, but I have to work. There is literally no way I can pull it off for tomorrow, but I might be able to play hooky on Thursday. That's the last day of the month that it'll be open, is this Thursday coming up, I believe. I will check that, though. And, oh, yeah, anybody was asking, so, everybody says support your local gun shop, and I'm down with that, right? I have no problem, but so I go in there and I pick up some 45 Blazer Brass, box of 50. Guess how much for a box of Blazer Brass, 50 rounds, 230 grain full metal Jackanez?
Only because it's Hawaii, I'm going to say like $26.95.
I will say wrong, and I will say
Too low.
higher.
Yeah, let me guess.
32.
Am I allowed to guess because I live in Hawaii? I'm going to say 45.
You can guess to lower than Hawaii Volcano Squad, but higher than Moon.
Okay.
So 35?
37.
Lower. It is lower. I feel like Bob Barker.
32?
Higher.
32? 33?
Yep. Bing, 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 bing,
Damn.
bing, bing.
For a
Gosh.
box of 50?
You guys need.
Yep.
Well, you should have gone to Sports Authority. It's cheaper there. But
Oh, if they had any, yeah.
there's
That
two
was
on the
a
Big
pretty
Island.
big tip.
There's
We
two
only
on
have
the
we
Big
only have
Island.
one here on Maui. We only have one
Yeah.
Sports Authority here.
Well, so you got one.
All
I
right.
mean, it's a small island. I mean, how long can it take? You can drive around it like 5 times an hour if you have a fast car. If they fix that part in the road that was broken.
I'll say obviously you've never been to Maui if you're going to say that, because it takes a long time to drive around this island. But anyway, so now here's the true question. Okay, so I picked up the 357 today. So I ended up getting a box of PMC Bronze 357 Magnums jacketed soft points. Anybody want to guess what a box of 50 of those cost?
42.
$50.
Lower.
Lower than 42, 36.
38.
Higher. Bing, bing,
Higher than
bing,
38?
bing, bing. No, bing, 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 bing means you win.
$38.
$38 was
Yes.
$38 for
Shit.
yes. So now, who thinks it's a good idea that I ended up getting that Dylan press? Anybody?
Yeah,
Yeah,
No.
I think it is.
Nah.
I think so.
I think in the end it's going to be because when I went and I looked at, I don't know if there's any reloaded chat in particular. The place I was at, they had all the ammo today. The shelves were full. There was gunpowder. There was tannerite. There was everything. Like this was the fullest I've seen it in there in a while. So all the pallets must have come in the
Why
past week.
people have delayed reaction unless they watch my channel? Like I got a few people that flooded into the local gun shop saying, "Oh, Hawaii Volcano Squad saying 855 is gonna be in the gun shop." I said, "Yeah, he was already here." Too late. and for most people, they're gonna come in like 2 months later and ask if there's an ammo ban or something. You know, it just everything's
there's that.
slower on the island. You know.
But the powder that they had today, I think Chris and a couple of the other guys were talking, and they were saying that they can get a pound of powder for I don't know 20 something, and it was like 38, 40, almost 40 bucks. It was like mid 30s, almost $40 for a pound of.
I'm not reloading in my little condo. Sorry, man.
So that,
my neighbors are free.
even though the price of the powder is more than what they're paying over here, is it still going to be cheaper than you buying a box of ammo over there? You know what I mean?
Yes. In the end, it will be. Definitely in the end, it will be. But
So
I can
that's
already see it's going to be like Blair saying, how if you reload, you don't really save money as much as you just able to shoot more.
I
No, you
gotta-
actually
gotta
do save
smell.
money. But that's if you're casting your own bullets and, saving all your brass.
Well, no,
Well-
I checked it out. I mean, even if I'm buying brass and paying for actual projectile bullets and powder and primers, still would be saving money compared to even when I'm able to go to Sports Authority and get the Winchester white box at, what is it? I think it's $52 for a box of 100 for 45 ACP. So, I
Ouch.
mean,
I haven't seen
Which
them
that's
having
like
a box
the
of
cheapest.
145. I've seen boxes of 50 at Sports Authority, but not 100. But usually what you
well, they
can't get
don't,
at
they
Sports
don't
Authority,
have it very often.
usually at Sports Authority, what you can't get is all the, jacked and hollow points and the things that like actually have good ballistic, terminal ballistics. All you get is Full Metal Jacket, pretty
Yeah,
much.
you
Sports
might-
Authority.
I'm just going to say, Alan, you might want to look at getting 38. What did you say the powder was for a pound of powder?
It was mid 30s is one of the ones I saw.
Yeah,
So I mean,
look
it's
online,
it's $10
see if they-
more than the mainland.
Yeah,
It's getting it
might-
here is going to be the problem.
yeah, getting it shipped to you would have to go, on the slub boat. Well, that's the only way they can ship the powder.
But they don't actually. They might actually have to do it 2-day air too, because that's the only way I can get ammo shipped to me is 2-day air, is what I was noticing. And that's
Where,
if
oh, you,
it has to be a specific company is willing to do so, and then you
and
pay the extra
hazmat.
hazmat.
Yeah.
But they were only charging about $40 for the hazmat. It was the 2-day air that was killing the price.
It should only be $20 for hazmat fee.
All I know is it's ridiculous whenever I try to order ammo.
Oh yeah, Ammo Warehouse I think is one of the ones that it'll do, so to speak, almost like the best way.
Look, all the gun shops do,
Because
drop shipment by the pallets. You just have to be friends with your local gun shop, and when they're doing a shipment, if you get to have some stuff thrown on their order, on their, split the freight or something, and wait for it to get there on a boat, instead of paying air.
yeah,
So they have
no,
to be willing to
I
do that
agree.
with you.
And there's a couple of them that I'm in, especially the ones today, because I usually see one of the guys that works there at the range when I go. He's a good guy, big, huge Hawaiian dude, really nice guy though, and so they were talking about it. So I mean, I probably could try and get in on some of that. I just hadn't had in the past, the ready to outlay. Okay, you're gonna outlay like $300 or $400 right now, or you're gonna outlay $600 right now, or you're gonna outlay $1,000 right now, and you're gonna get like 1,000 rounds of 223 and 500 of 45 and 500 of 357. So all of a sudden it's gonna cost a lot, but you're gonna be set for 6 months to a year, kind of.
Well, I have been doing more saving ammo and less shooting, just as it takes 50 minutes to drive up to the range from my place. So passes for a
See,
range.
if
The dirt hill.
I
that people
had
shoot
that
on.
option, if I had that as an option, I don't think I'd be in trouble, but I'd definitely be eating more spam musubis and definitely some more than I do.
Yeah,
I don't even know if I could afford top ramen if that was the case.
You guys need Tula.
Well, I have a couple thousand rounds of Tula for my AK. I have more than that.
But for 45, I went to Walmart
I would
tonight.
shoot the shit out of
I have boxes and boxes of Winchester White Fox for Sports Authority. I mean, and they also were selling during the crunch. They've got some the Brazilian stuff. What's it called? In the blue box. I got one box of cheap Tula ammo 45. It's dirtier than it shoots dirty, but it's 45. Who cares? What's the stuff in the blue box? I forget.
PPU?
Privy
Brazilian
Partisan?
ammo? No,
Oh,
no.
that I don't.
No.
'Cause that's in the blue box.
MagTech.
MagTech. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was Brazilian. With the gold trim on it or whatever, gold lettering, something like that.
Yeah, blue box with some gold or what? I forget what color the letters are.
So I've only been shooting Tula 45 because it's $15 a box.
Yeah,
100 rounds for the $33.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. It's hard for me to go and buy brass anymore since it's so expensive. I don't even see. And maybe if I had like a nice 1911, I would just buy brass for that. But since I'm shooting them through a Glock,
why? You won't have any problems with Wolf ammo shooting through 1911. You just have to clean it when you're done.
Well, I think I like what he's saying though, is the Glock in particular, because I shot some Blazer. What is it? Is it aluminum or nickel or whatever the hell, the non-brass Blazer? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it just
Aluminium.
it shot through that like nothing. So I'm a believer that Glock 30S will relatively chew up whatever you put in there.
So will a Colt 1911. I mean,
I've seen 1911s jam at the range.
mine hasn't.
I didn't mean yours in particular, But they were one time it was not Tula. It wasn't Blazer either. It was some other inexpensive ammo. And it had a failure to extract, and a different time I saw one that was a failure to feed.
Wow.
You know, though, it happens with anything. And again, these guys, they're also doing like IPSC or whatever, so they're shooting, you know, through 1,000 rounds and whatnot when they're at the range for target practice. So it's funny though, because they don't shoot it that much, and they don't shoot that shit during competition though. So I'm wondering, does it really give them any kind of valuable training that way?
Well, there's some people around here who do 1911 competitions that just can't be bothered to get enough practice to do a competition. Got other things to do. And it's just too hard to get to the range enough anyway. So, and they got super light triggers that I don't want. You know, I mean, the standard trigger will just light it up.
That's why you just have to have one dedicated competition gun.
See, there you go. Is that the 41 or different? Or you mean an actual competition gun?
Oh no, you can definitely make the 41 into a competition gun, but I haven't done anything to it yet.
Okay. Do you wish you would have waited to be able to get the MOS slide, or it doesn't bother you at all?
Yeah, it would have been cool, but it really doesn't bother me. I'm not anxious to put a red dot on any of my pistols.
I definitely can understand that, especially when you're talking, you know, what is that going to be, like $400 or something?
Yeah, that
300, 400 on the low end.
That, and I kind of like having a blacked out rear sight with some contrast for the front sight. I'm used to that. I'm good with that. So
I will say that this 357, it doesn't have fiber optic on the front, but the front is removable. But you can see that little brass bead or gold bead or whatever that shows up pretty dang good with that bladed rear sight, or whatever they call that, adjustable, right? Yeah.
It's serrated in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm checking. Man. I don't think I'll be pistol whipping anybody with this one, though. I just don't think that's a good idea.
Too light?
Well,
1911 could pistol whip somebody.
Well, see, and you got that Wiley clap or whatever. That would be perfect, because you could do that full on Goodfellas style, where you just kind of put it kind of. Don't ever talk to Karen.
I don't want to mess up my wood. I don't want to mess up my wood. I'd rather use the 1911 that's all steel. I want to mess up my grips on somebody's, get their blood on my wood.
I can understand that.
You don't want blood on your wood.
Unless she's into that.
Yep. Lay a towel down.
Sorry.
Cherry Popping Gunslingers channel.
I could sure pistol whip somebody with my CZ SP01. That thing's like 2 pounds unloaded.
Well, I just got a new Rome 22 long rifle, so I'm thinking we should start a new thing where everybody who takes their newest gun and passes it along. to the next guy.
To the left or whatever.
Trying to be
I'm not sure.
To Rome, it doesn't matter which way we go. I'm always trading up.
Right. Moving on up. Call it the Jefferson's gun.
Sounds good. That way we all get to experience what other people have and we don't.
Well, then I guess I'll just have to make sure I make it to the mainland at some point this year. Because I'd definitely let any one of you shoot this thing. I wouldn't let you take it home with you, but I'd definitely let any one of you shoot it. And
How long
this
have you
whole
had it
deal
now?
about what time is it? 3:20 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. It has been in my possession for roughly an hour. Actually, maybe more like 40 minutes because I had to do a lot of driving, had to go to the police station, all this kind of. It's literally been in my hand though for the last 15 minutes. In my hand the whole time for 15 minutes.
You gotta go to the police station, pick up your permit to acquire, go to the gun store, pick up the gun, go back to the police station and register the gun, and then you can go home and play with it.
Yep. So there was a little bit of running around after work today, but it was all well worth it.
It's a stupid gun regulation, this swear. It's like you already own 10 handguns. Why do they make you wait another 2 weeks for number 11? You know what I mean?
Well,
How
because
does that make everything safer?
in case you've become a felon or something in the intermediate time. I mean, I don't like that they do it. Don't get me wrong. You know, it sucks.
Well, they can check that right away. They can check that in the first 5 minutes. And then they do.
Well, that's what I was explaining to somebody today earlier. I'm like, yeah, if you buy one on the mainland in some states, literally you do the NICS check at the gun store, and you can leave with the firearm that day at that time.
Yeah,
Hold on. Did you say some states it's like that?
Some, yes.
More like there's 3 states where it's not like that. So some is
Okay.
almost making it sound like it's a thing that's normal, and some states have rebelled against it. But no, there's only a few states that even make you do anything more in addition to it. So how long did it take you to do your background check?
2 weeks.
It doesn't take 2 weeks to do the back. When I walk in, I fill out the paperwork, and then she goes right away as I'm filling out the paperwork and goes and checks the background check, and then it's done. And then I have to wait 2 weeks.
Right.
But here's the thing: the store doesn't do the background check.
No, your state probably
station
does.
Yeah, the police station does.
Why did
Dano.
Dano glue all that stuff to the
That's
ceiling?
what I just said. That's what I was just going to say. How did you get all that to stick to the ceiling?
It's obvious not steel tip ammo.
What are we talking about?
Dano's screen.
Dano's screen. Everything's up on the roof.
It's magic.
Oh, now I got it.
It's Instagram magic.
That's the anti-gravity ammo.
I told y'all, if you watch that video and get your creative juices running, your Instagram channel would go wild.
Where'd you get that 7.62? The blue box. Yeah, where'd you get that?
To Dano.
Is that like readily available, or is that?
No, this was somebody had traded in some ammo at my local store. This is what they traded in. You know, to like.
So
For
you only
help.
have one box like that. Will that sticker come off of there, or is that like gonna rip the paper when you take that $5?
It'll probably rip. I didn't put it on there, but it'll probably rip the paper.
Yeah.
So
If you're very careful, you can probably get it off.
right there.
If you heat it up with a hair dryer, you'll melt the glue and you can take it right off pretty easily.
Okay.
Just be careful.
Well, I have a heat gun. How about that? Maybe I can light it on fire.
Yeah, try that. Give that a shot.
Very far
Well,
away
I-
and on low.
If you're interested, I'd appreciate it if when you're done with that box, fold it up, throw it in an envelope, and send it to me. I only have one like that.
It's got value.
Not really. It's just that I was hoping maybe you were going to say that they're available somewhere.
Is he petting
Is
his
it
ammo?
it's not a common cartridge. Is that what you're saying, G-Webs? Or not common to where you're at?
All 762 by 39 is going to be imported by different people at different times with different names and stuff. So there's an unmeasurable number of boxes and stuff, and it's just one that I don't have. Or like I say, I think I only have one of, and it's always interesting to me because again, you guys know from like Wolf, right? You can get Wolf made here, you can get Wolf made there, you can get Wolf made there, and you can get Wolf made there because Wolf is an import company like Norinco or the other one. So they're going to buy from wherever, put it in their package, and send it to us to use. So when you look at two boxes that look the same on the outside, there's a good chance that they're from different sources. And for me, that's what I collect is the variations.
Nice.
Here's
gotcha.
the Wolf I just bought. I think it's Wolf. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it
that's
doesn't say it anywhere on the box.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So if you look around the back, there's going to be factory numbers or symbols or if nothing else, but usually some kind of factory indication. That's probably TCM. Does it say TCM anywhere?
Let me see. Okay, it says CIP.
Nope. So let me see the little markings on it. No,
I'll be
not
right
the
back.
CIP, but the one in the middle there is the, was that Barnall? So that's telling us where it's from. The one that looks like a piece of pizza with a circle in it and two little things
Yeah.
right in the middle. That's the factory symbol for that one.
Okay.
I would also take that one if you didn't want the box when you're done. Do you have a bunch of that or just one
Oh
box?
yeah, I got a shit ton of it.
Did you get it recently or what?
Yep.
Okay. Then it's not such a big deal. But,
Made in Russia.
okay. Eventually I'll be able to get back to making videos, and that's the kind of stuff I like to make videos about, is digging into that research and illuminating that stuff for people, or just for me, because I kind of think it's neat.
Yeah, I like it because I only ever bought cases of Tula, and they come all marked just like they would on the shelf at Walmart. Just like that. These are my hollow points, actually. And one of my gun shops just got in Federal hollow points for $259 for 1,000. Thinking about jumping on that. That works out to
Hollow points of what?
Federal
What
115
kind?
grain, 9mm.
Which kind of federal?
I don't know.
Like Hydroshocks, HST?
No. I think I think it's Federal Classic. When it's that cheap and they're hollow points,
Okay.
it's usually Federal
So it's
Classic.
old school hollow points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I basically just have the Full Metal Jacket, hollow points, the Winchester white box, and for practice, and then I have the jacketed hollow points for serious social work that I get from the gun shop.
But that $259 plus tax, that works out to about $13.90 a box or something, $13.75. So that's about the same price I'd pay for Full Metal Jacket. Not bad. Thinking about
What kind of hollow points are they?
just regular. I don't know if you ever.
Jacketed hollow points, or
No. I don't know if you ever heard or seen Federal Classic hollow points.
no, I haven't.
They're basically the cheapest. I guess it's practice hollow points to see if guns feed them. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured there to be the weight and size and everything of real premium stuff. They just don't pay as much attention to them, so they can charge less.
Yeah.
A lot of cops use them to practice because then they're shooting the same stuff, just not paying as much.
Yeah, I bought a case of it back in the day, and I shot through them about a year ago. I finished that case up. So I have experience with them. I never had any malfunctions or problems with those.
So let's say you buy 1,000 rounds or some bulk package of ammo. Does anybody else keep at least a box or so when they're all done, just to have it for like taste tests with other brands when you buy them?
Yep.
Like I hardly ever shoot a whole 1,000 rounds. I'll just keep a bit, just so I have a big assortment by the time years go by.
Yeah. Like this, I had a bunch of these ZQ 30-round boxes of 5.56. So I held on to the old box because it's white, and then the new box is like beige and has different stats on it. Like this just said NATO. It didn't say SS109 or anything like that. But the newer box that I have a bunch of, that has a lot more information on it. So I just kept one of these because it was the only white box I have left. They don't even make them anymore. And plus they don't, oh no, they still have that mark. MHE. But yeah, so I kept that.
Post the pictures of Hurricane Pam and Pontoon in the journal if anybody wants to see it. It's big category 5. And
Is that out in the Pacific? Wouldn't that be considered a Typhoon then?
I thought that was
Correct.
northern southern hemisphere.
correct. That's in the southern hemisphere though, then too. Pretty sure.
No, I thought Pacific were
It's
Typhoons.
right in the article that's a Typhoon Pam right now, and it's about to be the other one when it hits. But it calls it Typhoon Pam right now, so I think it's when it hits the equator.
No, I believe Pacific Ocean's Typhoon, Atlantic Ocean's Hurricane.
Typhoon Pam, gusts up to 210 miles an hour, and storm surge of 20 feet. It just looks, if you're just looking at it from space, it's like huge.
I thought Vanuatu was the planet in Starship Troopers. So there's a bunch of bugs that are going to get wiped out.
I know the guy that made that movie, so that's why I never watched it.
What?
I never watched that movie.
You've never seen Starship Troopers?
No, wasn't that a John Davison movie? I know that guy.
I don't know, but you're
The
missing
guy who
out.
did RoboCop?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it?
Yep.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting movie. I mean, I've never heard anybody that has such objection. I've heard a lot of people. I agree that the book is better. The book's different, but the movie is still.
I don't know. I just like, I watch Turner Classic movies. I mean, mostly. That's me. That's my main objection, really, to it. It's like, I like movies with character interactions, and I just like old movies. That's it.
Character, something you have or something you are.
Ah, okay, I figured it out now. The difference between typhoons and hurricanes. Atlantic and East Pacific, they're called hurricanes, and in the West Pacific, they're called typhoons.
Well, they spin right in one hemisphere and left in the other, basically, right?
Then why does this thing call it a cyclone also?
Yeah, cyclone and typhoon are interchangeable.
I only took Weather 101 in UCLA.
No,
Hurricane
also cyclone and typhoon are both used in the Northwest Pacific Ocean, west of the international date line.
Maybe that's how that translates from Japanese or Tagalog or people what they speak in Saipan, but I don't know that because cyclone's the same thing as a tornado, right? Isn't it? Isn't that?
Cyclones are also tornadoes, but they call cyclones. Typhoons also are called cyclones in the.
Doesn't that have anything to do with the way they spin, left to right or right to left, or clockwise or counterclockwise? I mean,
they're clockwise in the southern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. I'd imagine if a hurricane was going to cross the equator, it'd break up because of the difference of force.
So it's like the toilet flushing.
Well,
The
we're
opposite
on the
direction.
equator and we get hit by hurricanes. Hawaii.
On or near?
Hawaii. Is
Yeah,
on
we're
the-
not on, we're not on the equator.
No, you're not that close.
How close are we to the equator? We don't spring forward or jump back, fall back.
Well, that's just daylight savings
Savings
time.
time.
Arizona doesn't do it either. So I mean,
Neither does
That's only
Indiana.
because the continent is so wide. If the continent wasn't so wide, it wouldn't be an issue. It's just the people in New York and idiots in California. Sorry, not all everybody in California is idiots, but the idiots that require them to be on the same time as New York. Those are the ones that require daylight savings, right?
So I watched that movie with Tom Hanks about the Somalian pirates. Anybody seen that movie? I forget what it's called.
I don't usually watch his movies unless everybody's like, "You have to see this one."
I want to see the Road movie that you guys were talking about last night.
What
Road.
one?
Road. Viggo Mortensen and
I
post-apocalyptic.
went to that movie and I had to turn it off. I didn't even want to watch it anymore.
Is that bad?
Oh yeah, it's pretty
the
boring.
road is crazy.
It was something crazy. Yeah, it didn't seem like a very optimistic movie.
Ha! Sorry, that's a pretty accurate depiction of that movie, G-Webs.
Seriously, like the first 5 minutes, it's like horrible, and then he's like, "Okay, here's the gun you're gonna kill yourself with." Like when?
Oh,
you
save a
do-
bullet, brother. Save a bullet. It was the whole thing to that. All right, let's see.
So
Oh,
I
I
should
get
or
some-
should not watch this movie. It has 7.5 things on IMDb. 2.5 stars.
So the
Who
one with
just said it
Tom
was
Hanks about the Somalian pirates. I thought they were going to
What was it?
focus.
Mr. Whatever the fucking captain's name was.
Yeah, I forget the name of the movie.
It was
but
off the Maersk, was the company that owned the boat or whatever, but
I thought it was going to
So it's like,
focus.
is it
But it's like
Captain
a real
Williams or
life
Mr.
movie?
Williams or something? Yeah, it was the whole thing where the Somalian pirates took over the Maersk something.
But I
like
mean,
a
is
big
it like
freighter.
real true to the story, or they just use that as the basis, and then it's a fictional story about that concept?
No, it
I didn't get to
seems
see the movie.
seems to be dead on. It just that they focused more on the captain of the ship. And I thought it was going to be more focused on the SEAL team and the snipers that actually took those amazing shots all at once.
It's like 4 hours of the drama of him deciding which way to turn the boat, and then they're like, okay, the snipers took out the bad guys, and then that don't even show it; they just mention it at the end.
Pretty much. I mean, they show the snipers lining up their shots for about a half hour, and then they take them out, and then they show the snipers walking back into a doorway on the ship, and that's it. That's all they show. They don't say how amazing it was. They don't go into that.
Well, when you're going to take something for granted, you can't appreciate the value of the skill or the abilities, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the definition.
But it had good ratings. It had good reviews and all that. So it was a good movie. If that's not what you were looking for, the military aspect of it, but I guess the drama and the story, or the retelling, or the dramatization of the event was pretty good.
Character interactions driving the plot.
A little bit. Guru saying big controversy over that. They didn't kill them all at once. Yeah, I don't know.
Were they supposed to be filmed in alphabetical order?
Somewhat ransom. I heard a splash, but is that what you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember the.
They probably left that part out of the movie. If I had to take a guess, Guru.
Yeah. I do remember watching it. The military channel. I think it was on the military channel. They had a documentary about it.
And they did the lines that the rifles would have had to have taken to intersect like that with the computer animated graphic or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Was it that program? Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yep.
Long before they came out with the movie, as a matter of fact, when they came out with the movie, I'm like, they're making this a movie? Well, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, when I first heard of it, I didn't really want to see it because I was like, I already know how it ends. I already know what went down. But I was bored the other day and just watched it. So I'm going to take Guru's advice and look into it more because it sounds interesting what he's saying. SEALs were investigated.
Well, if they all got shot, but they had the board to finish them off, that's the job, I guess, that they were hired to do.
Yeah.
Negotiations had failed at that point.
Still pretty good shots, even if they hit them all from that.
Yeah.
From
anybody that's been on the open ocean on a boat.
A lifeboat.
Yeah. Well, and wasn't one of the guys on a smaller craft as well? Like, wasn't it? It was almost like triangulation or something. Like
Yeah,
some were on
know.
the big ship, but there was also some in the boat that was going to either give them money or something. Maybe. Does that sound right?
Oh, so he's saying the SEALs were investigated for the missing money. There was only $30,000.
Oh shit! That must have blown overboard, boss. I don't know what happened to that, man.
Which incident are we referring to, or is this about? In regards to the SEALs,
Somali pirates off the Horn of Africa that tried to take over a ship.
well, that's happened a number of times. I mean, which one?
Well, they made the movie
Well,
about
the
it with
most
Tom
famous
Hanks.
one.
Oh, the one with the captain in the
Yeah.
rescue boat.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, $30,000 is the last thing they should be worried about.
They would spend that on their barbecue. I mean, that's
Seriously, that's like asking a SEAL like to worry about 30 grand. Come on, like, how much gear are they wearing?
Exactly, and the fact that anyone survived, they ought to be thrilled to death that they're alive.
The comm device probably cost 30 grand.
Yeah, exactly. They probably shoot 30 grand in ammo a month. Well, not a month, but you know.
in a week.
Well, I remember when I was reading Red Cell when Marcinko invented SEAL Team 6 or whatever, when he was training them, he said SEAL Team 6 shot more ammo in a year than the Marine Corps. So those 12 guys or whatever it is on the SEAL team shot, or
You mean
however,
like
30 guys, but they shot more than the Marines.
all of the Marines?
Because they gave that was when the Delta Force had the problem with not having well, whatever. Delta Force had that issue with the hostages, so military had a black guy, and the chief of the Navy said, "F all this stuff." Just he got Marcinko, who was decorated from Nam and knew what he was doing, and said, "You start doing our own testing." So he only answered to the Secretary of the Navy, just kind of bypassed the whole chain of command. It was kind of a cool story. Anyway, so when he got done with that, they said, "Okay, we're going to need to task the SEALs with counter terrorism." And
Does Delta Force even exist anymore?
oh yeah, Delta Force is still Delta, and they're hardcore. And it wasn't Delta's problem; it was the country learning to go from conventional to spec warfare, and it was public.
It's painful. Yeah.
Public issue, but there's definitely still a Delta Force, and they're definitely still probably the best at everything. In fact, Delta Force has the SEALs in their realm or whatever. It's kind of weird the way they divide it now.
So could you give me an example of how their missions would differ?
Well, the SEALs are just like saying infantry almost. I mean, they're a type of Navy job, but the SEALs themselves are specified. The same way we've got infantry that's designed for mountains, and we've got infantry that jumps out of planes, and we've got infantry that can probably, I don't know what they're called, but jump in a boat, jump out of a boat or something.
Right.
You know, we have different kinds of infantry. They have different kind of SEALs. So SEAL Team 6, I'm not no SEAL expert. I'm just casual interest. But the way I understand it, there were SEAL teams, and SEAL teams came from World War II, where basically we said, hey, we got to clear these mines out of the water, you know, the mines that kill boats when they swim up to them. So they created UDT, underwater demo guys, to go in and clear beaches, and then they're like, well, your guys are ultimately hardcore. Why don't you just climb up out of the beach when you're done clearing those mines and kill a bunch of Nazis? So that worked. And they created SEALs that were like to do ops, and then they kept the UDT. And anyway, that was the beginning of the specialization of the SEALs, as far as I know. So, you know, they trained SEALs on both shores. And again, I don't know the details, but like some of the SEALs are tasked with this or that or the other thing, just like our Green Berets are tasked with certain things. You know, if you're going to go learn Spanish, it's no point in sending you to Russia. Or if you're going to learn Chinese, you know, there's no point in sending you to Belize or something. So, you know, to some extent, all of our special warfare is specialized, and the SEAL Team 6 was the counter-terrorism part of it. But I think with the restructuring, way after I got out, and probably after you got out, they restructured, and like what used to be Army, but outside the realm of Army, and like, which was Green Berets, and then like SEALs and other things which were like in the Navy but outside the realm of Navy, and like MARSOC, which were Marines but kind of outside the realm of Marines. I think they figured out, well, I don't know if it was good or bad because I'm not into that, but I think they figured out, hey, we have all these branches, and then we have elite units that aren't really in the branches anymore because they answer directly to the top of the branch because of their, you know, the task that they're given is too delicate to have a chain of command. So I think they figured out, hey, if we put all of these special units under the designation Spec Ops, that's the black spade with a yellow trim on it that you see now, that never existed back when we were in. Like, there's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Spec Ops now. And that Special Operations Command has Delta Force, it has the Green Berets, it has MARSOC, it has all the aviation units that fly those guys around, it has all the supply units that supply them with the top-of-the-line shit and keep it, you know, available to them whenever they need it. They keep submarines full of the stuff that needs to be there for SEALs and all that kind of shit. So all that stuff that before was like off the books and whatnot, number one, it became a lot larger. There was more of them, so they needed larger supplies, and you know, there was more need for training and all the other support parts of it. And I think they just figured out, hey, instead of the Army having to, what do they call that, like off the books run this giant thing that's just getting bigger, instead of the Navy having to run this thing off the books, which is getting bigger. Like I say, if one SEAL team can shoot as much as the entire Marine Corps, that's pretty big budgets. And I think they just figured out, hey, if we put all these under the same place, then they can still all be secret, but they can be secret together, or something like that.
So, as an example, what would be...
So it's just, you're saying it's accounting. It's accounting. That's what you're saying.
Sorry,
Okay.
too, we started talking at the same time.
I was just asking in regards to mission type. What would be a mission that the SEALs would do that necessarily Delta Force would not, or Delta Force would do and SEAL Team would not?
And it's a good question, because I don't know anybody in Delta, I don't think. I've met people that were Delta, but I never hung out with anybody in Delta, or who has been even near Delta. And I definitely have known SEALs before, but SEALs are kind of different. So anyway, the way I've heard it best explained is SEALs' job description or task, for the most part, is to learn whatever the hell we need learned immediately and do it. And that's it. So SEALs are kind of like the jack of all trades, master of none, but they can be there in a minute, and they're just good at getting shit done. Like, just get this done real quick. Don't worry about how it gets done. Just get it done, right? And that's what I understand. So again, there's specialization amongst the teams. So I suspect if they need some air thing done that's never been done before, they're not going to go to the underwater teams. But same vice versa. If they're going to do something underwater they've never done before, they're not going to go to an air team. So anyway, they're designed to be prepared and willing and able to do things that normal human beings can't do, where Delta is strictly counterterrorism, period. Counterterrorism, period. So they're going to learn all the ways to destroy everybody in an airplane they need to, or how to do hostage negotiation, all the things that specialize to counterterrorism. But again, I'm general interest, and I'm definitely no scholar on it, so I'm sure people are out there yelling at me because I'm generalizing it too much, or maybe just completely wrong or something. But that's the way I understand it. Is the Delta is the Army version of counterterrorism, and SEAL Team 6 or whoever came and joined them or aided them or somehow they're together or something now under Delta, I think. And they don't do anything. They just go out and kill people on airplanes or, whatever they do. I don't know what they do. But I think they might do some investigation. According to the Marcinko books, they would also, if they were tasked with, protect this embassy, they would take it upon themselves to get all bearded up and, out of uniform, non-standard grooming practices or whatever. They'd get into bar fights and get all beat up and just look like, whatever would be normal for the region, maybe truckers or oil workers or something. They would just look like big American worker dudes, but they would really be in there being just one step away from spies, basically. In fact, everything in Spec Ops is on that border between CIA.
Over 6 feet or something.
Oh, hell no. No, not at all. But I'm just saying they didn't go in looking like a bunch of Army guys, with shaved haircuts and uniforms and shit. They would just go in and kind of be, like I say, almost like spies. They would almost be doing counterintelligence work because they would go in and without uniforms. That's the big thing, when we send in troops without uniforms. Are they still troops or are they agents? And that's the fun part that Bob always talks about, that FSSF. That was literally the line between, you wear a uniform and you're a troop, or you take your uniform off or you put on a Nazi uniform and you are now a secret agent, like you're now in the CIA and you're not in the Army anymore. So I don't know where Delta is with all, or where Spec Ops or Delta or any of them people are with that.
And the only reason I ask the
really
question
close to being spies. I'm sure they get.
My mission, I've always had a difficult time telling the difference between the two.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm not good at it either. I just absorb it a little bit here and there. And then, my thing is people always calling everything Special Forces, which, because stupid lazy Europeans call everything Special Forces, but we have an actual, a Green Berets of Special Forces here. Right. So my knowledge is all from just trying to figure out what all the Spec Ops groups are, so that when people call them all Special Forces, I can go, nope, you're talking about MARSOC.
Yeah, and what do you call the Air Force guys that go out and are... what the hell?
You mean the rescue guys or the...
Well, there's the rescue guys, but there's also the guys that will go out and do...
the Pathfinders?
Yes.
Reconnaissance? Yeah, those guys are pretty freaking hardcore, too. The forward landing observer or forward
something
observer?
Something like that.
Something. It's like the Army version of the forward observer. They create a landing platform or whatever. I think the Army calls them scouts back in the day. In Nam, they would have been scouts, I think.
But, every branch has some really hardcore MOSs, for lack of, or skill sets, and that's one of the Air Forces.
Oh yeah, Air Force has a couple. They just have a few.
It's just they're not well known because everybody thinks pilots.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a military channel on here just to let people... We've had some pretty interesting chats when we all get in here and start bullshitting about basic and stuff.
That'd be great.
Then there'd be a place to do it, and we could let the Marines talk about their weird shit by themselves. But in all seriousness, everybody's, I'm sure, heard about the helicopter that went down. I saw a thing on Instagram today, and I don't look for opportunities to call the president a jerk or whatever, or the guy holding the seat of presidency right now, but there was a good Instagram where it was like Ferguson, like a bunch of bad guys, cause trouble, like president's right there on the podium, fucking taking this, having to say something about it. But when that helicopter went down with a bunch of, was it Marines?
Marines.
Army guys carrying them around, then, nothing. And I can understand, you're not gonna, come online every time something happens, especially to people that sign up to have bad things happen to them. But on the other hand, it's kind of lame to have
You're not
nothing.
going to do anything before the notification. That's
Somebody needs to show up at some point. You know, you can't. Somebody needs to make it right.
can't make it.
Yes, from that article I just read about the Somali pirates that Ralph posted, it all seems pretty sketchy.
Ralph is saying that Delta is the people that took Bin Laden. They found. Wait, no. Saddam Hussein. Why would Delta be looking in holes? I guess maybe they send them in as the tip of the spear or something.
They might have already been there.
I thought I listened to an audio book about the guy who found him, or the guys. No, it was a book about the guy who. I think he was an army guy, but he was like tasked to do something, and then he was sort of like, well, I'll do kind of what you told me to do, but I think I'm on the track of the bad guys here, so I'm just going to keep doing it this way instead of exactly the way you wanted me to do it. And I think he was one that kind of sniffed him out, or he found a friend of a friend or something and narrowed it down. Quick reaction force. I don't know what that is, what he was saying there.
They're
Oh,
better
SEAL
than
Team
the,
6 is counterterrorism like Delta. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's the thing I was trying to say. Gather intel. Like, you have to know. Anybody can go in and shoot somebody, I suppose, especially with a lot of training. But then those guys are also tasked with knowing what to pick up and what's important. And because they're involved in all that shit, you know, they're going to have a whole different perspective on looking at a pile of stuff on a table and know what the, I don't know who makes those decisions, CIA or somebody, you know, needs from that table. They're going to, you know, saying they're at a whole nother level because they're aware of big things going on, I would imagine, at some level, so that they can make a more informed decision about what to pick up or what to show somebody or what to take a picture of or whatever they do.
I was going to say the quick reaction force is probably better than the delayed reaction force. Humor.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
I don't know what the other, is there a map somewhere of like what the different teams do, the different SEAL teams?
The question is, do we have access to that map? I'm sure there is.
Oh, I mean a general, and I'm sure there's something. Like, you know, like say, if you look at the different...
What, Dano, is your Google broke or something?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
He who asked it Googles it.
Oh, I'm working on it already. I was trying to find out the guy's name that was in Operation Red Dawn, which is the Saddam Hussein thing, and they're not necessarily forthcoming with that. So it sounds like he was...
Well, I can't imagine, unless it was like
they showed the
man
interpreter
so-and-so
guy
found
that helped
him.
find him. So the picture they have is of Samir capturing, pulling him from the hole.
Any special ops team is going to not want pictures of them, for one, because they're still
That's
working.
exactly what I was saying.
But then they also don't take credit, typically. They're not there as individuals, so if anything, they're going to probably say, my unit got them, but that's still not, you know, that's still classified, so the Navy got them or something like that.
See, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
Edge
I
laid for
did
the
hear
edge
that
of the weekend.
Houston had a Glock 18 in that hole with them. I think I heard that somewhere.
Oh, snap.
That'd be cool. I'd be like, no, I didn't have a gun. Weird.
He was unarmed.
No. For some reason he must have felt really safe, because, yeah, nothing. Sure, he had a holster and a lot of mag pouches, but no, nothing. Although, I would probably punch him in the face and take his holster, too. What the hell? It would make you look a lot more innocent, and you'd have a cool holster. You could say it was the same. Probably made out of gold or something.
Yeah, so do you think it was like a gold Glock 18? That would be nice.
Who has this Glock 18?
Putin? Saddam Hussein?
Well,
I was going to say it was Schwarzkopf's probably got that mamma jamma.
who's Samir? Is he the guy from Office Space?
Samir?
He's close, but that's the wrong guy.
No. Nobody could pronounce his name. Dina Majabadap or whatever.
Say that 3 times fast.
I never noticed that the operation for Panama was called Operation Just Cuz.
You never noticed that before? Everybody
No,
was making fun of it at the same time it happened.
Just 'cause we can.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be like a righteous cause, but it's written just cuz. Like, yeah, because we had nothing else to do, just because we could.
So we showed up to an Edge chat, but Edge is doing a different chat.
No. We showed up to the pre-chat, and Edge is doing his chat, but he's not. He said he's going to be late.
Oh, he's running late? Okay.
Yeah.
Figures.
What's his topic? Let's steal it.
It was that movie with Tom, whatever his name is, Tom Cruise.
We already did it.
Thanks. And then it was going to be the SEALs. The jobs.
It'll probably be another EDC chat or a carry gun chat or something like that. Been running a lot of those lately.
Yeah, you're staying on topic. You're doing a good job, I think.
This channel will be EDC guns, not just EDC. Because remember last
That counts out Hawaii. No, you're not allowed to EDC guns in Hawaii, so.
I'm sure it'll be a very fresh topic.
Well, you just happen to be a May issue state.
We haven't been in a non-issue state.
No, May issue. Just because they don't issue it, they may.
They never have, according to Baker VT Aloha. Not one permit in the city of Honolulu. Ever.
We do a little housekeeping. If everybody I'm assuming people here are listening through gun channels. If you go to the lobby, there's that it looks like a picture of a bingo hall. It's actually Arizona Citizens Defense League annual meeting, but it might as well be a bingo hall because it's a bunch of old white people. And it isn't the ideal picture. But I wanted to use a picture from either an NRA meeting or something, where I had a bunch of gun-related people listening to somebody talk, right? So that's what the concept was. But all my pictures end up looking like this because I always sit towards the edge, the end of the room so I can get a picture, and I just see a bunch of the backs of people's heads. And it's not a good representation of the people in gun chat for sure, and definitely not gun owners because, again, it's pretty much all the retired old people out here. So what I'm asking for is anybody, I'd like an original picture ideally, just because it's lame to use other people's stuff, right? Not that you have to go out and take the picture, but if anybody has a picture that we can use for the lobby channel's main picture, I would appreciate it. And ideally, I don't know, some sort of a gun discussion or group of people that kind of, I don't know, we'll make it a photo contest maybe or something, but you know what I'm saying? Something that kind of identifies with the way the lobbies are, which is a little bit of everything but gun related.
That would be like just people playing
We're in the
Tiddlywinks
wrong
around the
city for
table.
that here. Yeah. Sorry to say that, Duos, but Green Bay is pretty white. They probably look a lot like your picture, except with...
Well, more than likely, because all those people get old and retire and then move down here. So that's what it is. It's a bunch of people from Wisconsin and Illinois.
It's nowhere near original, but the most famous lobby that I can think of with guns is the lobby from The Matrix.
Oh, see, that'd be interesting. Different take on it, I guess. If there's like a screen capture with all the bad guys with their guns, like when it was right about to go down or whatever.
Yeah, Let me try to look for one.
But that's a lobby for sure, but it ain't,
It's yeah.
a crowd of people or whatever. I don't even really know what I would do. Maybe if I was standing in front of the room and saw their faces, it would look a little bit more interesting perhaps. Or, you know what though? I think maybe remember when all the marches on the Capitals were happening during 13? Maybe somebody's got some pictures from back then with some shouldered rifles or some signs or something, because I think the lobby's a little bit like a big peaceful crowd of protesters, right? We kind of have a reason to be here, and we're not at arms or anything, but we've got our guns with us.
I was hoping we could change it into some kind of bar room.
I was thinking about doing that for the after lobbies, honestly, because I do like the idea of, I was toying around with the whole idea of turning the whole gun channels itself into a giant gun club, but I felt that was a little bit too weird. I like the channel concept better because it lets people be creative and fosters people who are trying to create content, so that it's more facilitates that more. But I was telling these guys, I think in an off-air chat or maybe on air one time, that one of my favorite things always, at least as far as gun stuff, has been the beginning of the movie, well, maybe the middle of the movie, Death Wish, when the dude goes out to Tucson, and the guy from Rockford Files takes him around and shows him stuff, and he takes him to this range, which is like super cool, and it's like an old 70s bar kind of, with like the wood and the red velvet and the dark colors and everything. And anyway, it's a range that's like a gun club, and that's what I'd like to have eventually one day. It's just a place where people can come hang out, eat.
I like the bar in that bar in the Book of Eli.
The bar. I've only seen that movie one time, so I'd have to watch it again. Is that at the end when he's?
No, I think it's in the middle. Yeah, the beginning, middle, when he walks into the bar that.
Oh, not like where the bad guys in the area is, but like just some other thing in the movie.
No. Well, yeah, it's the bar that's controlled by the bad guy.
Yeah. Okay. I think I
office upstairs.
Specifically.
He kicks some major ass in that scene and chops a few heads off.
But that's the same as like Road Warrior or something.
But only when they're mean to him. I mean, he doesn't try and do anything, and then he just has to defend himself, and then he kicks their all out, or cut their heads off after that. But it was a cool bar too. It was set up like they charge you for water or something. Water costs so much money or something.
So I was thinking maybe do like a adults only or after hours type of channel where the lobbies can, because eventually I hope to make this, I'm hoping that I'm making a tool that invites enough people in that do we have more than one lobby going at a time? So maybe there could be one for people that just want to, be rude and fart and laugh and shit, and then another one for people that are like trying to explain to a beginner, how to shoot a pistol right or whatever. Not that they need to be separated. I just think if it was larger and there was more people in here, it would just, you could get more extreme in both directions that way.
People will pile into the more radical room where everybody's arguing. That's what they're all going.
I know that's what we've had, and that is a dynamic that attracts people, but number one, I'm not interested in attracting the people that come for that. Number two, I'm not interested really in being part of that. It happens once in a while, and it's always at the end like, damn it, like we just look like a bunch of idiots. Like I don't think that furthers anything. So I do agree that that's a thing, but I'll let somebody else champion that somewhere else, because I'm not really. If we'd never had another giant fight in the chat, I'd be happy. Huh?
I don't believe that sort of activity in chats puts us, let alone the channel, in the best of light as to those who are either new members or those who are just passing through thinking of it, in the best light as to, oh, this is what gun owners are like.
No,
this is what they talk about when they think they, in their small little groups. It doesn't paint us in a good light, and that's what I don't like about it. In addition to the fact that just personally, I'm not a reality show kind of person, and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I never thought about it that way. Now I feel bad for even being any of them like that.
No, I don't mean the people being in it. I mean the people talking like that. I mean, and it's okay to be passionate. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when passion becomes just, verbal spitting.
I I was in a chat one time where some guys, it wasn't a gun channel, but some guys tried to kill me like 7 times.
I already posted a good one, a good audience picture for sure. But hopefully the chats are more interactive than that. Maybe more like on the days when you'd watch a movie and the seat would shock you or stink or something.
Stink vision?
Yeah, where they'd walk around with little vials of stuff, I think. I know I never experienced that, but I've seen things talking about it.
Where are you posting these pictures?
Oh, I'm talking about on the channel that we created for the lobby. Right now it looks like just a picture of a bingo hall or something. It's just a really brightly lit,
Oh, I need to find that.
full of old white people looking at a speaker off that you can't see. And it was literally, I went to, like I said, I looked through all my pictures of crowds. I guess I don't really take pictures of crowds very often. I think maybe a picture of like, well, not even that. I was thinking maybe a picture of like the crowds at SHOT Show, but then it would look like we're in a bus station waiting to go somewhere, you know, as opposed to the destination itself.
Temporarily, I think it works because at least the message gets across that, oh, this is where we go to talk and have fun.
Yeah, and that was sort of that was really the goal, is to make it seem like, oh, okay, this is the page or the channel I found that, you know, I can come back to it. I know where when I found it, I remember the picture. Because the other one, that just the logo, it says podcast or whatever, that doesn't help anybody.
It's like some people bored at a conference, basically.
So we need these lobbies in 3D. That should be happening soon.
I imagine the internet. Didn't somebody tell me that there's a curved TV that shows you something better than a regular TV or something now?
There's a curved TV that you can see from like any angle you're standing or sitting at.
Oh, I thought it was like curved like the letter C, where it was projecting something into the middle that was better than just regular flat TV.
I know.
No.
No,
Well, I imagine they'll do that. We've seen that in TV enough that it'll happen. Well, there'll be little holographic things.
They are nice though.
That means we'll have holographic live chat.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible. All of a sudden, it's like, what is that? What? Oh, click. Oh, here we go. SOS is saying we need to focus on female shooters. I like that idea too.
We need a female shooter to come and make an all-female channel.
Well, and that's another good point is, you know, I don't want to take us back to what we just talked about, that big aspect of an audience that we obviously have not been able to keep here, that when we have certain types of chats that drive them away.
Oh, for sure. What chick would want to hang out with the way we behave sometimes? Most, well, not all the time, but definitely a few times a week.
Scary chicks.
Yeah, but I don't want a chick like that hanging around. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Well, they can't all be Little Red Danger, but that would be nice.
I'm sure they're out there, and maybe they just feel they would be outnumbered. So it's just all
No,
about.
like Dan said, having a, or whoever said it, having a section of the site for them would be it. We could totally do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd want us to do that, but we would definitely make places like, you know, that they could go to and be alone.
That sounds too condescending. I don't think we should do that.
Anybody want a high point? Hold on, I can't see my own screen.
Free?
I just saw a flash. What the heck was that thing?
Hold up. There we go. For the ladies. Marine
Man.
ladies.
Is that a watermelon?
I was saying, that's
You know who would love
Yankees
that?
gun.
That's
Digital
beautiful.
Prophet would love that gun.
Yankee would love that. He loves watermelon.
I think Digital Prophet would go apeshit over it.
He might go apeshit, but I don't know that he'd go apeshit over it.
It's pretty
If I
classy.
didn't have that gun in Miami Vice, that'd just be
I don't
Awesome
think Marco
gun.
would even. If you were gonna give that gun to Marco, I don't think he'd take it.
Come on, it looks like a lot of the shoes he
that
buys.
would be a great gun for any Miami Vice episode, I swear.
Would have went with Don Johnson's shirt or whatever.
Now give it to Izzy or Noogie.
DB's trying to claim winning the photo contest. What day do you want to end the photo contest? Sunday.
Whenever I have the most votes.
I think I'll probably end it Sunday and start a new one. So that
I voted for his because I felt bad, so I shouldn't have done that. That's what he's saying.
Why isn't Wild Bill Hickok's revolver winning the contest? I don't understand.
Huh?
We have a photo
That was-
contest going, and we're talking about the dynamics of it.
I mean, I posted a pic. That's from the Gene Autry Museum, and it has Wild Bill Hickok's Colt 1851 Colt Navy revolver on it. That's the coolest picture.
Not many people joined the contest. I think it was just me.
Yeah, but I haven't done anything to promote it, I don't think, except say it a few times. So
Would like a ship gun or a plane gun count as a gun for the photo contest?
It's a weekly thing, so we're going to have a bunch of themes. This, I didn't really give it any theme, so yeah, anything will work right now.
Okay.
We're really
the next
just testing.
contest, I'm going to have the biggest gun. I promise.
Of course, as soon as I found that one, well, as soon as I installed that one, I found a better one, which is all nicer, so I might shit can it. If people like the idea, I'll shit can it and get a better one, I think.
Let me check up on it. It's a four-way tie with Sandy in last place with one. The rest of us have two. So it's Volcano, Ballistic Expansion, me, DB, and some guy in Sandy. So head to the photo contest and cast your votes. Right? When is it over? Tonight? Tomorrow?
No, that's what we're saying. I think I'll do it Sunday. And
Okay.
then that way we'll just start a new one every Sunday and the other one on Sunday.
Can I be bribed?
You can still enter.
There's no rules.
You can enter that TRR8.
No
Take
rules?
us all down. It's just that,
Oh, that wouldn't win, dude. Come on. Revolver. People don't even like revolvers.
man, you put the
Apparently, everybody
round,
just thinks it's for getting the shield and
You
entry.
could get that
keys.
dirty filter. You could take a picture of air with that dirty filter and people will click like on it.
right. Like I got all these
My phone
these
can't
new
do that.
followers today
Okay.
just for
Nice. I like hearing
just
that.
for
come out.
posting a dirty pic. They were like,
People can't
"Oh,
get
that
enough
looks
of that
extra
shit.
dirty."
It's like catnip for viewers or for followers on Instagram.
For eyeballs.
I wish they had it for a video. Then I'd be the biggest video channel again.
Still can be. You gotta believe, man.
Yeah, I'm
See
gonna
these,
stop
You
washing my
can do it.
I'm gonna stop washing my hands. That way my hands look all dirty in videos, and then people be like, "Oh man, this is just like on Instagram."
I don't know how it does it. It just renders some dirt on you.
Yeah, it makes your hands dirtier, so it automatically makes everything look brighter because your hands are dirty.
You see, I enter the contest, but I've got one gun. You guys see the picture every day, so
You know how badass these Kasan mountain climbing pics would look if they just dirtied them up with that HDR thing? You'd be
Yeah,
looking
right now
like
you
they
look at it
actually
and you're
did
like,
something.
"Hey, there's three fellows enjoying a day out." And if they had that dirty pic on, you'd be like, "Oh, those three survivors! How did they manage to get through the ordeal?
Yep.
How to know the story?"
Missed opportunity.
They don't even filter. in the future when we're doing everything like some Chrome filter or whatever, they'll just be catching up and making things dirty.
Yeah. Waiting for the Chrome robot gun filter. That'll be awesome. Everything's
Now-
going to be liquid metal.
There you go.
Oh, come on.
So when is this Edge jet starting? Recover.
Didn't you hear? Edge has given up on YouTube. He's had enough. He said no thank you.
It's moving on to Pinterest.
Well, I was going to do a chat today, but I don't know topics and everything. But
Alright, I just uploaded a photo.
Where to?
I'll never fall for that again, Core.
Contest?
Yep.
No way. Can't get me to
Check
click
it
on
out.
it, dude.
a photo in the contest.
Yep.
Well, whenever
that's,
I get
not,
a chance,
that's not fair.
I'll try to. I've got a bunch of stuff that I keep talking about. I'm going to take pictures of it, put it in the classifieds, and then that'd be the get the prizes or whatever. Just pick something from the classifieds to have.
Why isn't that fair? It's a picture I took.
That's just a screenshot of good guy.
Yep. I'm
But
crying
it's a
foul.
picture I took.
Foul. That's bad. Shame on you.
When did you take this picture, Quirk?
I didn't look at the...
I would say like 2 years ago or something.
13, probably.
BE is in the lead.
That was 6-string with that chick picture, I think.
Oh yeah, it's got to be old.
I could have had good guy with a dual wielding two-way case.
And that Texas right there, that's the guy. I forget his name.
Texas Surplus Pro or whatever. He's back again.
No, that's not him though. It's
Oh, it's not?
Krypton or Kipton.
Oh, really?
Texas
Yeah.
Survival TV or whatever it was. Wasn't that it? Texas Survival TV?
Yeah.
Was that a guy that made knives?
Yeah, made knives and ghillie suits and smoke bombs, smoke grenades.
August
How large is that picture?
2013.
I still have problems navigating around the side of my head. I clicked on photo of the week and it bounced me back into the news.
When you click on contests or when you click on his photo?
Gun photo of the week contest.
Yeah. Just takes you back to the main homepage.
Yeah, take me back to the news. Yeah. Right.
Firefox? Firefox? Yeah, it does. It's weird. I can be logged in or not logged in on Firefox and I get bounced back, but I'm still tracking that down. Because if I go over to Chrome, works fine. It's driving me nuts. And I don't think it's...
Chrome reports everything to Google that you do, you know. So.
Not always. So, but there's a difference somewhere, and that's where it's frustrating when you're building shit, because if they do build differences in. Sometimes it's just annoying, like something's centered or not centered. But with this kind of stuff, it's like, come on, what do you gotta be like this for?
Well, because one company wants to take over the internet, the other company wants to set it free.
No, this was just two people building things in a different way that just didn't really talk to each other or have any interest in making them line
Usually
up.
there's a reason for that. It doesn't happen by accident.
Well, I hear you. It did originally. I agree with you, but after decades of this, well, I mean not decades, but after a decade of this, they're just being jerks.
We got BE and some guy in Sandy tied for the lead now.
And they're asking out there, how do I vote? Do I just click join? You click on the picture and then...
I think you have to like it, right?
Yeah, you click on the picture, the one that you like, and then the like should just like appear right in the middle of it.
I think, though, that, like I say, if this is something that people are at all interested in, I'm going to just get the other one, because this one, it looks like nuts and bolts compared to the other one. It looks all fancy. Because I kind of want to have more than one going at a time, too.
Yes, like I clicked on your link that you posted in the chat to the contest, and it got me on the homepage.
Yeah, it'll keep doing that. If it does it, it does it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I don't know what it's doing it. Well, except that it's Firefox, but I don't know what in Firefox is doing it.
It wasn't doing it like last night, I don't think, or the night before, but whatever.
It's always like this right before Edge. Everybody gets so much anticipation, you can barely contain yourselves. Conversation ends.
Easily distracted or chat killer?
We're just all wondering how great it's going to be.
I'm just trying to stay awake.
I'm just saving all the good topics for if I start a chat tonight.
What was your topic?
Yeah, I thought you had artwork.
I'm saving them. I'm saving it.
It's on a need-to-know basis, I guess.
I already told you
I
that.
thought that you had already said it. I thought it was a done deal. Now you're saying it's a if.
I read the chat, so you didn't just tell G-Webs. You told everybody that.
Yeah, I know, but I came on and there was already a chat, so how was I supposed to start one? After I got back from lunch, there was like already
On your channel.
Chat. But I don't start. I'm not to start a chat if there's another chat going. I'm not stepping on somebody's toes.
No, that's the whole point of the gun channels, so that we can have a bunch of these going at once.
Well, none of my usual suspects, I think, are online.
Like
Usual panelist people.
It really works out when We Like Shooting and Stone Guy are both on at the same time, because I see that like half of us stay.
Matt.
Or Matt, yeah. Half of us stay with We Like Shooting, and then the other half goes to watch Matt.
Yeah, and it's not hard to watch both. Like I do both all the time, not every time, but all the time, a lot of time, and because, well, you guys have experienced this. Sometimes we're not doing anything, and sometimes there's a conversation over there. It's super easy to zone in on the one you want, and then just tune out the other one, and you can monitor the chat part super easy.
And plus, if I miss one, I'll watch it later.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm digging the whole thing, and then what I'm monitoring them both for is to see if everything's working, because you know we've had issues with the chat slowing down and all that kind of shit. So it seems like everything's working pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to having so much that, you know, there's the reloading stuff happening a lot, and there's we haven't even got the sports shooter guys in here, but the competition shooter guys. I always found in my experience with training and being around guns and stuff, I went from being a kid and learning that there were competition shooting and then not being good enough to be in competition shooting, so it just got, you know, it was just another thing I knew about, but since I wasn't involved in it, you know, I didn't care that much about it. I didn't follow it or anything. And then got back into shooting again after a while and got, okay, so then I was out shooting once in a while and having fun, and then I knew that there were competitive shooters, but I could care less about it. All I knew was that back then was that they wasted my Saturdays. Like parts of my ranges weren't available because there was these competition shooters there, and parking was shitty because they were always there on the weekends. So aside from just acknowledging that they existed, right, I didn't pay much attention. And then once I started CCW and taking classes like how to manipulate a firearm and those kind of classes, you know, I started thinking even less about tactical, or not tactical, but competition shooters, because Well, I don't want to paint it with a too wide a brush, but a lot of tactical guys think the competition guys are just, doing something different, that it's not the same, so there's no reason to borrow or anything. And then I finally got to Masad Ayub and some others who are the opposite, and they try to, more like a Jeet Kune Do, take the best from every place, have them all in your toolbox, and use what's appropriate kind of thing. And then, you get to the more modern type class stuff, and it's evolved into a hybrid of all of that. So anyway, I guess I'm saying it'd be cool if there was a section or a channel or two that were something like Shooter's Mindset, where he's got like a ton of different competitive shooters on, because just being around those guys when they're chatting, you can glean like all kinds of cool things. And then if you think of like more practical things, their job or their goal is to shoot quickly and accurately, and maybe they don't have all the other requirements or like things to worry about, like if you're defensively shooting, but those, as far as shooting fast and quick and having gear that can do that and keep up with you, they're innovating, they're cutting edge on that shit. So I've actually learned to maybe not be super interested, but at least appreciate all that. So anyway, I'm digging the idea that we'll have a bunch of different little communities of people on here. That way, if we're all using the same chat system and the same main page, right, the same galleries and stuff, we're just by osmosis going to get some of that other stuff, and we'll all kind of, hopefully gain from each other's experiences.
It seems to be the bigger channel is going to dwarf out this smaller channels. That's the way YouTube chats work usually.
Hey, Dano, did you have your windows open today?
It was beautiful. It's actually 50 degrees.
It was 50? We were almost up to 70.
Well, I don't know what the official temperature was, but
yeah, my windows open from like 3 to 6 because it finally got warm enough to open them up. Actually, warmed my house up compared to what it was yesterday with my furnace on. So it wasn't so damn windy.
Yeah, wind was fine, but temperature was great.
Well, I mean, I could take the wind, but I mean, it was just so strong. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the range.
Just to be able to go outside in a t-shirt was a liberating experience.
You even wore a t-shirt?
I hate to ask what you wore.
My banana hammock, of course. No, I was outside in a shorts and t-shirt as well. I'm afraid to make any noise. So quiet.
Edge just sent me a thing about his chat or something. Yeah.
You just sent me one too.
Oh, an invite or what?
And you can see that's why I didn't start a chat. I was waiting for this guy, and when he's done, then I'll do mine. If nobody else will dwarf my small channel. So I think you guys I usually have on as panelists aren't on yet. So.
Well, if he's going to start, he's definitely starting late.
Well, when is the best time to start a chat to get the most, active viewers during the chat?
Oh, looks like he's starting up now. There's no way to know. It used to be kind of same parallel when primetime TV was the big shows were,
Right.
but it's not like that anymore. Because it started out whenever we first started doing anything live, Saturdays was a big night. Thursday was a fairly big night, and then it sort of changed. Pretty much whenever I went to Thursday, Thursday died, so I killed Thursday, I guess.
I killed Saturday.
Saturday died a long time ago, it seems like, and it's never really come back. Of course, everything sort of died too, so it's tough to say. But anyway, it was always sort of not real precise, and now it's just there's no way to know. We'll have a chat on a Saturday afternoon, and it'll get 100 people. We'll have a chat on a Saturday afternoon, and it gets 20 people. Matt will have a chat, and it'll get 70, and the next week it'll get 100 or more, and then it'll get 30, and there's just no way of knowing. I think it's more of when the news is big. That's probably what does it.
Well, what time of the day, though?
Evening.
No time in the day either, yeah. Sometimes we started them at, well, I don't know, not even everybody starts them at the same time, so it's tough. In the evening, yeah, it's about the closest you can get.
Yeah, I've run early chats where I've had
our time, PM, and I've seen them, no one even on the site at the same time.
Yeah, as I say, like Moon, I'd run sometimes I'd run an early chat, and I'd have 40 people watching. Next week, you do the same thing, and I've got like 10. It's just weird.
So yeah, I usually do the early chat on Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and that's early for all the West Coasters. So that's why I call it the early chat. And then I haven't done it in a few weeks. So
as far as
you ever want, because I usually don't have a topic. I'm just letting everybody chill out and talk before the edge of the weekend starts. So if Volcano wants to do one on topic, he can just, say it, don't spray it, and try to get everybody over to your joint.
And of course, Edge is sending out links that don't work.
But I think generally speaking, as far as what I'll call early chats, meaning before 9 o'clock, it's fairly lit up for Friday when Moon does his. I mean, it's open for anybody who has an impromptu, oh, I want to talk about this tonight, even though they may not normally have a chat, but they feel like doing one.
Yep.
Which it's nice, I think, having an undesignated time zone that anybody can come in and say, hey, there's something that I'd like to talk about, or something or whatever.
So should I start my chat right now, or should I wait till after Edge? I mean,
it's up to you. I mean, I guess if you want the most audience, I'd wait till after Edge, just because if anybody's watching him, you wouldn't fit them. But I don't know how many people are going to watch Edge that are going to not be looking for an alternative. If that makes sense. In other words, if they don't want to watch Edge, they just don't watch Edge. It's not like they're watching Edge and looking for something else better to come along.
It's also, Edge doesn't have a fixed time when he ends. So, for you personally, it's like, well, is he going to
That's true.
wait 3 hours? Going to have to wait 1 hour?
The one time you wait, it'll be the 4-hour epic chat, and then if you set it for a time, it'll end 2 hours, an hour before.
One advantage of going sometimes after somebody is if you let them know, hey, when you finish your chat, could you please make an announcement that I'm going to be doing a chat as yours ends to try to transition some of the audience over to you.
right. Well, because what usually happens is people get links and people start going, oh, and they just start, going to, big chat. Anyway, I'm going to make a decision and I'll start a chat at, let's see, it's 4:39 in Hawaii. I'll go like at 6. So
one thing I will share with you is that there is a whole nother group of people that you ordinarily do not see at this time of the evening that come on much later in the evening. And they may come in regularly, but late for the continental time but still early your time.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go at 6. I'm just gonna go at 6. That's an hour and 20 minutes from now. So whatever, if anybody shows up, hopefully I'll have one panelist, and that'll have to do. If I can get one panelist, it'll be good enough for me. But more will be better, and it'll be the Friday the 13th spooky weapons and spooky shit that's happening. Yeah.
The late night chats are also pretty much open as far as anybody who wants to do one. So you don't have to worry about stepping on somebody's toes for the most part.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like I'm trying to do organized topics, and I try and, pick. Well, you saw what I was trying to do on that last episode,
Right?
Or last topic we had. I pick a
Right.
topic, and then I question the quiz the panelists and go around it. And then after I run out of questions, it devolves into this regular run-of-the-mill chat, I guess.
Right, and it's up to you and what kind of style you want as far as whether you want to do a topic chat and then bring it to an end so it doesn't devolve into something that you don't want, or whether you're okay with having a topic chat informational and then have it be suddenly a bar room. It's personal preference.
Right. So it's it's just when either I'm gonna have to sit down like for the whole day before and come up with how. There's a lot of stuff happening, that fits into the spooky Friday the 13th category today. So I'm gonna go in like an hour and 20 minutes. So
Okay.
I'm going live. I'm gonna set it up on Google. If anybody wants to show up, that will be the subject. Spooky weapons, spooky stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th. So it's going in an hour and a quarter. I'll set up my hangout now.
All right.
Now everybody can leave for Reg.
On that note, then I'm just going to shut this down, and everybody enjoy the edge of the weekend, and thanks for joining the lobby.
Aloha.